So what do you think of living here after 3 years in the Boise area? Obviously we're in Kuna, but what have you thought after a 3-year update? And then of course, I'll ask you more detailed questions later, but.
Yeah, so I still love Kuna. Kuna still has my heart. I think where Kuna is at now, it still has that small town feel, but it's definitely getting bigger. And 3 years later, I still really love the Boise area. I love the valley. I love that it has lots of things to do, but there's still towns that still give it that country feel as for now, but it's growing a ton. People are still really nice here. It's very, just a great community feel overall.
Yeah.
And some of the weather stuff, the same, but overall, I'm very happy here and it does feel like home.
Yeah, what would you say is us is first, in the last 3 years, has there been anything that your first year here versus your third year here, you've either loved more or you've not liked more? Like things that have over time have gotten harder for you or better for you?
I think over time, I'll start with things that have gotten harder for me. Like 2 main ones jump out would be the traffic is getting pretty insane at certain times, mainly like on Eagle Road. Like just avoid Eagle Road between like 4 and 6 p.m. So that's definitely, I think, has gotten worse because more people are moving here and it's just such a centralized location.
Yeah.
So that I don't think I'm ever gonna get used to, but I don't think anyone likes traffic or wants to spend a lot of time in their car. And then the one thing that I will say that's been a little tricky is sometimes, some winters here, we can get really bad inversions where the sun doesn't want to come out for a certain amount of days, and I'm someone where I need sunshine.
Like today's a good example
Yeah,
of
today's
that.
A little bit, there's some cloudiness. Luckily, it doesn't stay that way all the time.
Yeah.
But that's something I wasn't prepared for, I think, moving here, and I've just seen a little bit of a trend. And so that's something I also don't think I'll ever get used to, but it's not bad enough where I'm like, okay, I gotta move, so.
Okay, we've lived in Kuna for, 2 years now? You were in Meridian.
Yep.
We had a short stint in Nampa for a little bit.
Yep.
What is your favorite suburb of Boise, and which ones don't you like?
My favorite would be Kuna.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously we live there, and I do love, like, again, it still has that small town feel. It is growing though, so like they're putting a Costco soon. It's gonna be on the border, I guess, between Meridian and Kuna. Especially by our house, they're building a lot more like retail stores and food, and so I like that there's access to more resources, but you still, like, I still, on my drive to places, like we're surrounded by cows and horses and llamas.
Camels too.
Yeah, camels. Like it's just so cute, and I love that about Kuna. So that would be my favorite suburb for sure.
Then what's your least favorite suburb?
My least favorite suburb?
Yeah, or even things you don't like about Kuna too.
Well, I'll say my least favorite suburb is Nampa, honestly, because, well, one, we were staying at an Airbnb for a little while we were waiting for our house in Kuna to be built.
Yeah.
And I think that's has to do with more of the location where we were at. We were in an Airbnb by the sugar beet factory. And there's some people out there that will tell you like, oh, Nampa never smells. Like they solved that problem. That is not true. It does smell.
Yes.
And like not all parts of Nampa. So people who do want to locate to Nampa, there are good parts that you won't experience that. But if you're by the sugar beet factory, I mean, to me, avoid it at all costs. So that was something that I don't like. And then the traffic in Nampa, what's that really busy road? Garrity, oh my goodness.
Or I mean Karcher, where Costco is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of stuff jam-packed there. So there's a Costco, there's TJ Maxx, there's Target, and it's so jam-packed. So that's just something when I drive out there, I'm just super overwhelmed. So I would say Nampa would be my least favorite. And then I guess my least favorite part of Kuna, where we live, I think the worst part is that it is a little bit of a drive whenever you're needing to go places. So it's not bad. It's like 15 to 20 minutes, depending on where you're going in Meridian or Boise. It's a little closer to Nampa, depending on where you're going.
Yeah, we have a problem with that sometimes. Because you are particular about where you eat sometimes, and so I'm like, let's just stay in Kuna.
Yeah, but Kuna
And I'm more of
doesn't
a
always
homebody.
have
It
all the
doesn't.
options.
Yeah.
But again, I'm willing to compromise that because I like more of the small town feel. But when we're going to meet friends at places, it can be a little bit of a trip, especially if you're going during rush hour.
Yep.
And so that can be a little bit tricky.
Okay, and I want to talk to you about teaching because you've taught here, and I'll want to talk to you about some other things later. But okay, so your least favorite thing about Kuna, the different suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
What suburbs would you not live in, or would you live in? Because obviously, I mean, we've said, everyone, you guys who watch this channel, you guys know that I love Kuna. But if you couldn't live in Kuna, where would you live? And why?
I think if I couldn't live in Kuna, I would live in Meridian. Because Meridian is so centralized and Meridian has a lot to offer, and there's quite a few communities in Meridian that still give you that like smaller community feel that are it's very friendly, good schools. So that would probably be my second choice, just with everything that Meridian has to offer.
Okay, so you'd live in Meridian.
Yep.
Where is there any other suburbs if you couldn't live in Kuna that you would choose?
Eagle is just so pretty.
Yeah.
Like it's such a pretty suburb. I would consider that, but again, the traffic gets really bad there too. So in terms of like just the feeling of Eagle and like what it looks like and being so close to the foothills, and then that would be my...
I don't think I'm bougie enough to live in Eagle.
I know, and
You
I don't
are.
know that I feel bougie enough to live in Eagle. I don't know. I feel like I'm more small town, but it's just so beautiful in Eagle. Like when you drive there, it's so pretty.
Yeah.
So that would be maybe my second choice, but it would be Kuna number one, Meridian, then maybe Eagle.
Okay. That now I want to go into teaching, and then I want to go into more people, safety, things like that, things you've noticed here.
Okay.
But teaching, since we recorded the last video, you taught, what, another 2 years since that video?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I don't think you were at the charter school yet when we recorded the first video.
I think I was. I had just moved there.
Started.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that you got to teach at a charter school for 2 years and then at a public school here, what, just in general, because you've taught in Pennsylvania, which is really high education.
The district that I was in, it was really great.
So like differences that you've seen that maybe you can expand on since the last video we did.
Yeah. I feel like I definitely don't know everything, so I only have my little bubble of knowledge of where I was versus coming to here, and people have different opinions. But I think, I mean, I talked about in the last video, I worked for a big district when I first moved here, and coming from the East Coast, I was in a really great district, and the academic standards were pretty rigorous and high. And so when I moved here, the first district that I was in, I just noticed that there was a little bit of a jump down of what was expected of students, and I wasn't really used to that.
In the public schools here versus the public schools there?
In Pennsylvania, yeah. And it was still a wonderful school and had wonderful community, and there were so many great advantages about that school and that district as a whole. But that was just something that like I immediately noticed, and I was like, okay, I wanted something that aligned more with my teaching philosophy. And so I've since learned, since I moved to a public charter school, but also just like interacting as a teacher in the community and meeting so many other teachers and parents, there's so many schooling options in Idaho. So there's a lot of public charter schools. I taught at a public charter school, completely free tuition. It often just involves getting your kiddo on a wait list. But tons of public charter schools, a lot of options for Christian schools, Catholic schools. Homeschooling is very popular in Idaho, and you know that's something that you and I have considered later down the line with kiddos. And I think there's a lot of great opportunity for families who are considering homeschooling, for like getting involved in different cohorts or communities. And I didn't really understand how big that was here, and so I think it's actually a really great advantage to moving here is that there's so many options. There's lots of great schools in West Data School District, Boise School District, really any district. It just depends on what the specific families are looking for. And for my teaching philosophy and what I like, I kind of like more of the rigorous curriculum and teaching students like life skills, not just academics. And so that's what the school that I worked for offered. And so that was a really good choice for me. But there's literally so many options to choose
what
from.
contrast did you see between teaching in the public school here and the charter school here? Was there a difference?
Well, the charter school I taught is public charter, so it's still public too, but
still free.
Yeah, still free. But I think the biggest difference I learned is depending on what school you choose, the teachers have more flexibility in what they want to do, or it can be very focused. So like there's some charter schools that really focus on like STEM learning or building up character or like teaching kids life skills, whereas in some of the public school systems, you don't really have as many opportunities in the curriculum itself to do that. So there's tons of teachers who are so gifted and do that regardless, just every day.
You were one of them.
Oh, well, thanks. That's sweet. But like there's so many avenues that parents can find of like, okay, this is the areas that I want to focus on for my child's education, and they can find that. So I think that's the biggest contrast, is that there's a little bit more flexibility or focus depending on what families and teachers like me are wanting that aligns with our philosophy. Yeah,
so more options. And then when it comes to the education side of things, was there a difference in just the education as a whole? And I'll just ask it like this. I know the answer, but so people can hear what we talk about.
Yeah.
Like for our kids, as a teacher, from a teacher's perspective, would you put our kids in the public schools here or the charter schools here if you could choose?
Well, for me, I mean, that's so personalized, but for me, I would choose the public charter schools or homeschool, honestly, is a big one that I'm thinking of, just because also with our faith, it gives us more opportunity to teach about God, and you can't do that in the public school system.
Nope.
Or in the charter schools, unless it's like a Christian charter school. And so that would be my number one, of course, is either homeschooling or finding a Christian school or Catholic school. But yeah, that would be my deal. And often too, just because public schools are great, they're needed, and it's a wonderful thing that we have in this community to have so many options, but there's just certain barriers that you hit as a teacher in a public school. Often really big class sizes, so not as much individualized education or attention to the child. And so, but those are just things that, I mean, that's like everywhere in the United States, really. So it's not necessarily something specific to the Boise area.
Yeah, I'd say what's specific to the Boise area is the charter schools.
Yep.
Like they do have a lot of great opportunities here that aren't in other states.
Yeah.
Which is a nice, not just the homeschooling, but the charter schools are an option here too.
Right.
Okay, now we can go away from teaching. There's one thing I want to jump back to that you said earlier about the weather.
Yeah.
You mentioned the inversions. There's summer too here.
Yep.
Now that you've lived here for 3 years,
Yeah.
and you've got to experience both of those multiple times now, has there been anything that has changed? Or just what are your thoughts on the weather here?
Yeah.
Because you came from Wyoming, Pennsylvania, so
Yeah.
you had East Coast stuff, Nebraska too.
I was like, I've never lived in Oklahoma.
Yeah. But the summer's here, winter's here. I know
Yeah.
we mentioned the inversions.
Yep. I will say, I think in my last video I said that like the heat here would really get to me. Now it doesn't really, like I'm so used to it, and it's honestly probably not that bad. It is still really dry here. So like I am used to humid climates where I grew up. It's very dry here, so similar to Wyoming. I mean, we were used to that, a very dry climate. And so I actually kind of like that. I don't like humid climates. Some people like love the humidity and love feeling like wet.
Like the lizards.
But that's something I don't like. So I feel like I've gotten really used to that. The summers are not bad. I still love the summers here. I love that it doesn't get dark until
like
10 p.m. That's one of my favorite parts about living here. It just makes your days feel longer.
And you get less sleep.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
Yeah. And so that would be the main thing about weather. It's like the heat really actually isn't that bad. It is dry. I know in the last video I talked about how it's kind of a dry climate, and that surprised me when I moved here, which now I'm just used to it. But yeah, I really like the weather. We still get to experience all 4 seasons. This fall has been so beautiful. It's really lasted. The leaves changing has been so pretty. So I'm hoping if it was a really good fall, it will be a really good winter too.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't mind snow. I like snow, but just the inversions.
Yeah, last year's inversion was hard.
Yeah, in Pennsylvania, we got ice storms, which I was like, oh, that's probably not a big deal coming from Wyoming, getting so much snow. And it's like, I'm thankful we don't really get that here.
Yeah.
So
you'd say you've gotten, like over the 3 years, you've gotten used to the summers.
Yeah.
And then the winters, I mean, it's hard because we lived in Wyoming for 4 years for college, and you lived there for high school too, so.
Yeah, and the winters are brutal
Yeah,
there.
the
They don't
winters are
have snow
cakey.
days in Wyoming.
No, the only time we had college canceled was it was negative 40 degrees out.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we'll cancel.
Yeah.
It's probably not safe.
Okay. I think that's good for people to hear though.
Yeah.
Because I say it to people all the time is you get used to the differences. And the winters aren't harsh enough here that you can't get used to them. Same with the summers, right?
Yeah.
So
I think the only point to point out, because I know you've had some clients mention this to you, is in the summers we do get fires. And sometimes people might be a little bit surprised of that, of how often we can. This summer was actually really good.
yeah,
It was
we only
super
had a couple
mild.
days of smoke in here.
But I know the previous summer we had a lot more fires. And so it's just kind of similar to like Colorado,
Yeah.
Wyoming.
And not fires in the valley, but
Right.
in the mountains, so we get the smoke.
Right, so then you get that smoke,
Don't
that
want to freak out
haze.
everybody in California.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have PTSD right now.
I know, it's so sad. But,
But we have water here to help with the fires. too,
yes,
so.
but some,
And proper management.
but sometimes you might get that haze,
Yes.
that haziness in the summer. And I
Yeah.
know you've had some clients be like, what is this? This
Yeah.
is, they weren't prepared for it. So that can happen. But other than that, I think it's a really great place to live. Very mild weather, especially for older people who are looking to still have all the seasons, but
Yeah.
not have it be like a crazy blizzard every day in the winter. So
Yeah. Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask you about is just the people here. You kind of touched on it, but now over 3 years being in the area, and we can talk about like just people we've met and friends we have too, but have you noticed anything over the 3 years about just the community here, the culture here, the people here,
Yeah.
from your perspective?
yeah, I still think the community here is very kind. I love the community here. It's definitely more of a conservative area. Downtown Boise, maybe not so much, but so I think that drives a lot of like the community aspect of like keep Idaho, Idaho, and
Don't Californicate.
yeah,
Idaho.
but everyone's very nice. Like I have not personally experienced or heard of any stories of any like craziness happening or like I feel like it's still an area where people can respect others' opinions.
Yeah.
Not everyone, I know, but for the most part. But it is definitely like more conservative, which aligns with our values. So I feel like we fit in really well, but like still open to people having different opinions and still being welcoming. I will say, people who move here from California, you should change your plates as soon as you can, because there will be road rage, I think.
Yeah.
Like there are people who
And
are not
cops
afraid.
target people with California plates a
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah.
So I would just say like,
Which Grant, who's behind the camera, he needs to change his plates.
yeah, I would say
Yeah.
that would be an area where it's like, because you'll see a lot of bumper stickers on people's cars, like keep Idaho, Idaho, like Californians get out. So I would say, yeah, that would be definitely one where I'm like, okay, that's probably not as welcoming.
Yes. Yeah, and I can only think of one like crazy event, which kind of bleeds into the safety, where we'll have our differences, but we can talk about that. But
Yeah.
that crazy road rage guy remember when we were going over the Eagle Road?
Yes.
That was the only time I can ever think of something
Yeah,
where he
same
like
here.
flipped out and was like, yeah,
And I
just
think
going
maybe
crazy.
he was like on drugs or something.
Yeah, but that's one thing in the last 3 years that we've experienced, and that's one thing I've experienced in the last
Yeah.
almost 30 years. So, yeah, pretty
Yeah.
rare. But this bleeds into safety, and this is where you guys have heard me mention it in videos a lot, where I leave my car unlocked, and I would leave our house unlocked if it wasn't for her. But
No.
how safe do you feel, and what things around safety have you noticed over the 3 years of being here?
I feel very safe here.
Yeah.
I will still always continue to lock my cars and lock my house
Yes,
because
I know.
I also grew up in like a not very safe area.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm just used to that, and I'm a woman too. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, but yes, I do feel very safe here. There's only a couple parts of the valley I would say I wouldn't, which is like downtown Nampa or anywhere by the train tracks. Like, but
In
that's,
Nampa,
yeah, I just feel like that's kind of a lot of places too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel very safe here. I don't really have any concerns. I know a ton of people leave their cars unlocked and their houses unlocked. I will just never be one of them. But other than that, I mean, yeah, it's the same. I think as it gets busier and busier, I'm hoping it stays that way. My mom is in Denver, Colorado right now, and the crime there is getting pretty crazy. And so,
And what's she doing?
moving here, actually, to Boise. And so I'm hoping it stays that way as it gets busier and busier. But so as for now, I feel really good about it.
And so far it is. We were having dinner with Tiff and Dustin, who are our cousins, and he works at the jail. And he said the jail is completely overpacked, which at first we were like, oh shoot, is Boise getting more dangerous? And so we asked him.
Yeah.
And remember, he was like, nope. He's like, the murders are down, all the serious crimes are down. It's just there's more people here, and so it's a lot of like petty stuff that,
like theft and.
Yeah, and it's not even really theft. I think he was more talking like domestic violence and like things of that nature, which is not a petty crime, but it doesn't. But it doesn't. No, we don't take anything out here. But it doesn't affect the public, I guess, is kind of what I'm saying. Like, it's not robberies and theft and carjackings. It's
but make sure you're crystal clear. You're not calling domestic violence a petty crime.
I am not at all. Yes. My point is that he was saying murders are down even despite the growth. And he even said, like, no, the valley's actually getting safer, is what he was saying. So.
It is safe. Yeah, I feel very safe here. Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Okay, now with Boise, just the valley as a whole, would you leave Boise? Is there any reason you could see yourself leaving here?
I don't think so. I think the only other states I've considered to be closer to our family in Wyoming would be like Utah or I don't think I could go back to Wyoming.
Yeah.
Because I love Wyoming, but just I love having more amenities here. Yeah. I think Boise is where I want to stay forever. I mean, it's a really, really great place to raise a family. It's a really great place to establish your roots. A big thing I've noticed too is like even church communities. So you and I are Catholic, and there's a huge, wonderful Catholic community, especially our age, which for you Catholics out there, you know that a lot of the churches are filled with a lot of old people, which is great. I love old people, but it's really rare to find people our age. But I've also noticed for people who aren't Catholic, we have Christian friends who aren't, or non-denominational. There's really great churches here and like just church communities.
You can tell God is present in the Boise area.
And
there's a lot of amazing activity going on, both in Catholic, just all of the Christian communities here.
So I think that that really established my roots here. It's like that's number one for us, is having just a good faith-based community. And so I have seen that for all denominations here.
We've had a number of friends who moved here, and they're like, the community here is unbeatable. A lot of people our age, a little bit older, kind of a good variety. So you wouldn't leave Boise. Talked about the community. We touched on the growth here. Like Kuna's growing a little bit. Traffic's gotten a little bit worse in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the expansion we've already seen, especially in Kuna, because Kuna's growing so fast, right?
Yeah.
But also just the Boise area as a whole. You know, some of the things that are coming to Kuna and Meridian and Boise. What do you think about all of that? Like, are you excited for it? Are you not excited for it?
Like
what
that
have
the
you
small
noticed?
towns are growing?
Yeah, what have you noticed over the last 3 years?
Yeah, I mean, this is such like a catch-22 because your job is to help people move here.
That's okay.
But I think
my job is to help people.
No, I know, but it makes me sad. Like the small communities, I can understand that. Like,
me too.
There's people who have been here their whole life and they want to keep that small community, and and I love that feeling. So I totally understand wanting to keep it small. So I don't want Kuna to like grow and expand and be crazy. I think it's nice that a Costco is going to be closer down the road, but that's like purely for convenience reasons. We don't need all these new retail stores, right? And so it does make me sad. I want there still to be small pockets of towns that feel more like country-like or just small town living. So I totally understand that, people who have that mindset of like, let's keep this small and kind of protect it. So yeah, it does make me sad. At the same time, I understand why people want to move here. Like there's so many clients I know that you get that are just so tired, or like my mom who's moving from Denver, she's just so tired of the crime. I mean, it's everywhere, and she doesn't feel safe where she goes, and she's actually in a really nice area. And so I understand people just wanting to make safer choices for their families. And so
yeah, and you get the pleasure of meeting some of these people too, and like hearing their stories. Like literally after this, we're going to meet with Paul and Kathy. How you guys? We'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah.
But like just hearing stories of how unhappy people are in other states, and then coming here, it's and I've said this in other videos, right? Is yes, it sucks to lose some of the small town feel of Boise, but the reason we don't want to lose that is because we have an amazing place to live. And I think, at least with what I get to see on a daily basis, the lives that are literally getting changed. Like this weekend, 2 clients that were buying homes in this community we're sitting in right now, literally were so emotional they started crying before they even moved here, because they just cannot wait to live in a place where they feel safe, they feel like they can be excited again. And I think it's a sacrifice worth making to change people's lives. Obviously, there's the big caveat there where we don't want people moving here and completely just turning Boise into where they came from. But I can say, and I think you would agree with some of the people you've met, that at least most people that I'm working with, or even just talking with other agents who are moving here, most of them are very similar to the culture of Boise.
Yeah,
and it's not just political conservative, it's also just kind, caring people who care about other people, right?
Yeah.
Because the politics aside, that doesn't, just because you're conservative doesn't mean you're that way. You can also be democratic and still be that way. So I think that's the important point. But it can be like we want to hold on to it for ourselves and not share the beauty of Boise with everybody else. So
yeah, I would completely agree with that. I think, and I've noticed that too. And I'm married to you and you're a real estate agent, so I only hear about your clients, but I mean all of your clients, I would say, just have that same mindset. They just want to move to a safe community where, you know, it's just kind, there's lots of opportunity, and who wouldn't want that? Yeah. So.
Yeah, of course. Over the last 3 years, have you noticed growth?
Yes.
Other than traffic, like what things have you noticed with the growth?
Well, just more like I was saying for Kuna, like all those retail stores that are coming and being built, obviously more traffic, more opportunities, like more on the random side, but like food-wise, I feel like a few years ago there weren't as many food options, and now there's like lots of different restaurants coming out. There's a new, I wish I knew the name of it, but it's like this new restaurant that opened that's like organic, no like processed foods, that's become really, really popular. There's new Christian coffee shops opening up that we always love to try and support. So I think there is a lot of growth like food-wise, because I know some of your clients would not complain, but be like, I noticed there's not a lot of variety here. And I think that's starting to change.
One of our good friends, Zach, is like a foodie. And but we've been having fun with date nights, going to a different restaurant every single week. And we found some really good spots. So if people need suggestions, they can.
So I think that's part of the growth that's coming too. And I'm excited about that, because I want more options, and to support, anytime you can support local businesses, I think is really great too. So.
Sweet. Well, after 3 years, would you move here again?
Yes, I would move here again. It's a really great place to live.
We'll see how you feel in 3 years after this. We'll see what's changed since then. But,
hopefully not a lot.
Thank you for doing this with us.
Yes.
You guys, if you want to see some of the growth in the Boise area, go check out this video here, where I go through all of the major changes, $67 billion of things coming to the Boise area. Thank you guys for watching. We look forward to meeting you in person. Hopefully you get to meet my wife too.